And play. There we are, and it has absolutely no audio. As you can tell, no audio. And once we get to the point where all the commotion begins, you will notice exactly why it's so important that there is no audio on this dash cam. And I do have another question. My question is, why do they pull over off the highway? They could have just as easily pulled pulled over on the highway, but they didn't. Rather than pulling over on the highway, they took the exit ramp, and they're pulling over on the exit ramp as opposed to pulling over on the highway. I'm not really sure why they would do that if they're traveling on the highway, unless they were going to take that exit anyways. And there you see allegedly Officer Bill Evans approach the passenger side door. You see the dog wagging his tail vigorously through the van back window. And you have no idea what's going on in this conversation. You see the officer reach into the van there for something. And what is it? Alright. Oh, it is. Looks to be papers. Yeah, absolutely, papers. And the officer takes a look at him. And the man who is allegedly Bill Evans walks over and sees making some motions with his arm there. And again, and it appears that he's telling the alleged Mr. Kane to step out of the vehicle. And he points over here towards the other side of the vehicles, towards the passenger sides. And now they proceed to step off camera to continue their conversation. Again, now you can't see them, you can't hear them, so we have no clue what is going on at this point in the video. And we do see a good amount of motion in the front seat of the van. Who knows what's going on there? We see the dog wagging the tail, yada yada. And I'm going to skip ahead here because there's basically, I don't know, maybe 9 minutes of silence. And rather than deal with 9 minutes of silence, we're just going to skip ahead. If you'd like to see the full video, you can go to the website, the WMCTV Channel 5. That's WMCTV.com. And there's a link up to this video, to the whole video, from our YouTube channel, youtube.com/wearechangeoshkosh. So if you'd like to see this full video, go right ahead and check that out. And skipping ahead. And alright, you see Mr. Kane. Now this is kind of interesting. Mr. Kane returns to the vehicle. This is at 4:04. And he retrieves something that seems like a small piece of paper or a card of some sort, possibly some sort of identification. And still no sound. You see cars passing by. Fast forwarding a little bit, another car passes by. And here you see Mr. Kane point out his license plate. And it looks like he points up the road and he points again to his license plate. Makes it real well known. You can see a little bit of motion from the other side. Here he returns to the van. What's he going to get now? You see the alleged Mr. Kane half on, half off the frame. And you don't see much happening here. And let's fast forward just a little bit. Still nothing's going on, just continuing the conversation that we have no way to understand what is going on at all. Continuing to fast forward a little bit. They're both off camera, you can't tell what's going on. Mr. Kane returns to the alleged Mr. Kane, if that is indeed Jerry Kane in this video, returns. Oh, he grabs, what was that? Let's take a look at that again. What was that? He reaches for something. Is it a gun? Oh, oh, it's a soda. Oh, those deadly vicious sodas. There it is. There's the soda. That soda might have high fructose corn syrup in it, but that soda alone certainly isn't going to kill any officers. And he puts it back in the vehicle. Here's a question. I find this interesting. I've been pulled over before. Most people have been pulled over before. I'm not sure how many people have ever been asked to step out of a vehicle, but generally if a police officer pulls someone over and the person is asked to step out of the vehicle, 9 times out of 10 that officer is not going to allow that person to return to the vehicle or reach into the vehicle to get a drink, you know, to get a soda or whatever, just in case. You know, you never know what somebody's reaching for, and police are trained in these things. So I find that very, very peculiar that the alleged Mr. Kane in this video would be allowed to go return to the vehicle to get a drink. Fast forwarding a little bit, not much is going on, you got nothing going on, and we're at 9. Alright, now this is going to take a real weird turn. Hear that? No, it's very clear that this second police vehicle has a dash cam with working audio. Now, that is important, as you will see with what occurs here, because we had visual before, right? But no audio. Now, let's go back here, and we'll, again, we're witness to the no audio, and you can see, just so we know that it's, you can see right here, there's that approaching police vehicle. Alright, we'll watch that come up. We got no audio. Oh wait, no, here's the police vehicle approaching. There it is. And now we have audio, because this car has working audio. It hasn't had it stripped. And there's the working audio. Look at that, no audio. That's interesting now, isn't it? Kinda weird. No audio. And you know what else is weird about this? Check this out. Let's go back one more time. Did you notice there that the sound cuts out before the picture cuts out? That's pretty weird now, isn't it? You would think that if one police car's dash cam were broken and just didn't have audio, as opposed to audio being removed, if there's the Tahoe there that we see, if that the officer's Tahoe's dash cam does not have working audio, then we should hear noise right now up until the screen changes. However, you can clearly hear the audio cut out before the screen changes back. Now let's watch that one more time. See that? Very peculiar. Didn't sound like the radio ended. Sounded like all the sound went away. Didn't sound like the person on the speaker had just, you know, stopped speaking and that's why we have no audio. Specifically looked like the audio was cut, and it looked like the person who edited this video together had cut the audio slightly too early. Just slightly. One more time. See that? Very suspicious. Very suspicious. Now, let's continue.